Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mindful Movement with AARP Alabama. I am your host, Margie Curry, and today our session is with Becca Impello, who is practicing and teaching yoga for a very long time, more than 20 years. Remember, everyone, that AARP empowers people to choose how they live as they age. AARP is a nonpartisan 501c4 organization that has over 420,000 members in Alabama. AARP's role is to advocate for those 50 plus and their families. AARP is always and still committed to offering opportunities for people to stay engaged from your homes. The Mindful Movement series serves as an opportunity for you to keep moving in the safety of your own home. Hey, Becca.
Good morning, Margie.
Good morning, Becca. What do you have in store for us today?
Well, Margie, it's a big day, right? As you know, today is a big election day, and we do certainly hope that everyone is going to get out there and exercise their right to vote. But days like this may be causing a little bit of anxiety and anticipation among people. So, my plan today is just to sort of speak to things that you might do when you're feeling just, kind of anxious and just kind of waiting on, like these election results. So, we're going to do some breathing. We're definitely going to do some moving, and we're going to just try to gear it towards, kind of using up this energy that we may have around, waiting for results.
All right, then. Sounds like a winner to me. Now, everybody, please remember that before you begin any exercise program, you must check with your physician to see that it is safe to participate. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and because we love hearing from you. All right, Becca, let's get started.
All right. So, as I mentioned, anxiety is something that most of us deal with at some point or another in our lives. Now, of course, sometimes anxiety is situational. It's just related to something that's going on right there in that moment. Anxiety can also be a more long-term mental health concern. So, today I'm just really speaking about that first example when, something's going on, we're anticipating something, and we're feeling a lot of sort of, anxiety or just, kind of apprehension or just, anticipation about it. So that's the kind of thing that you may be experiencing today, with the election. So one way, and there are many, but I'm just going to give you some examples. One way to deal with sort of those feelings is to meet them, right? If you're feeling a lot of sort of restlessness or anxiousness today, for example, it might be best to stay active, to distract yourself with something that is going to keep both your mind and your body kind of more busy versus sitting around or trying to calm down or trying to rest or relax. Sometimes resting and relaxing is a helpful tool, but often we need to sort of meet that energy where we are. So that's one of my recommendations for you today, especially maybe later if you find yourself feeling that anxiety, is to, do something to meet that energy. Get yourself busy. Go for a brisk walk. Throw the ball with your dog. Do something that will sort of engage you task-wise, with your hands or your mind. So we're going to do some breathing today to sort of meet or match that energy. At the beginning, breathing pattern, and then towards the end, after we've moved and done some, energy releasing with our body, we'll do a slightly more calming type of breath at the end. Okay, because sometimes we need that too. After we've, kind of spent some of that energy out, we need to then relax. So let's sit tall. We're going to use our chair. We'll stand up some of the time as well, but the chair is just a nice way to give, everyone the opportunity to participate, or, pretty much everybody. So sit tall. We're going to do a little bit of an energizing breath. Again, I'm trying to match that feeling of excitement, of anxiety that you might be having. So the movement for the hands and the arms is going to be out in front, pull back. Now, if that feels a little too big, you can keep it a little quieter. You can do hands open and close. If you want even more movement, you could reach the arms overhead and pull down. All right, so there's some options: out in front, hands resting in your lap, but opening and closing, or reaching up and down. And we're going to do some sort of bigger breath. We're going to take a big breath in, blow it out of the mouth. Okay, we're just going to do it 5 times, and then we're going to pause and just see how we feel. If any point during this breathing you feel a little too, winded, or you start to feel dizzy or just uncomfortable in a way that you don't like, then you just stop, right? You just stop and just go back to breathing normally. All right, so let's give this bellows breath, it's sometimes called this energizing breath, a try. Okay, here we go. 5 breaths. Now take a big breath in, slower breath out. That was only 5, so you may not have noticed too much with that. Take another moment here just to observe. The second round, we're going to do 8 breaths. If you want to stick with 5, stick with 5. Here we go. 8 of those breaths. Big breath in, slower breath out. If you're feeling like you're getting a little warm or you feel your heart beating a little faster, that's expected. That's the response that is likely with this type of breath. We're going to do it one more round. This time we're going to go for 10. But if you want to stick with 8 or you want to stick with 5, that is your choice. All right, here we go. Last time. Big breath in, slow breath out. And just pause here, take another couple moments just to check in. How are you feeling? Did doing that breathing shift your energy? It may have, kind of bubbled it up a little bit. Maybe it gave it some focus. Maybe you feel, just a little more in your body from doing that. All right, now let's do a little movement for those shoulders. I want you to start rolling one shoulder at a time. Up towards the ear, back and down, other side. Start to get a little roll or turn in your body. So we're turning to one side, turning to the other side. You can start to pick up that elbow if you want. Make this a bigger movement. Maybe turn and look at the direction that arm is going. Remember, all throughout our practice, always, that you're always allowed to make your movements smaller, bigger, or just plain different to suit your needs, right? Now, maybe make a few big arm sweeps. Watch the back of that chair. Good, last one. Come back to facing forward, sit tall, but drop the chin towards the chest. And let's give that head a little roll from shoulder to shoulder. Really try to tune in to how does your body feel? What do you notice as you make these movements? What areas are getting, a bit of a stretch? Are there any places that feel stiff? Can you feel the effort of certain movements in your muscles? Again, putting our awareness into our body is just one technique that we might use, just to meet those feelings of mental anxiety, right? And so we take our awareness sort of out of our thoughts a bit and put them into sensations of our body. All right, let that head fall forward. See if you can pick up your hands and just interlace them around the back of the head. And then inhale, pick up the head, push the elbows back as far as is comfortable and sit nice and tall. And then exhale, we're going to fold forward. Let the elbows drape around the face, the chin drop towards the chest. Inhale, pick it back up. Now you can certainly do this without the arms on your head if that was more comfortable. And I'm going to start to make this bigger, but you might decide to stay right here if you don't want to take it to a bigger motion. So I'm going to round it down, curling more of my spine, and I'm going to even try to arch up a little bit. All right, so this is optional. You make it as big as feels right for your body. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Pick it back up one more time. Let those arms stretch out to the sides and drop down. Good. Now pick up one arm and stretch it over. If you want to stop at the top of the head or place the hand on your heart instead of up, that's a choice. And then let's bring it back to center and take it to the other side. Now, while I might be moving a little bit more today, trying to stay a little more active, again, as a way of, kind of using up that energy, needing that energy, or, kind of distracting the mind, that doesn't mean we want to move recklessly. We still want to move mindfully, of course, and move in a way that serves our body and keeps us present and aware of what we're doing. Let's hold. So take it to one side and stay there for a few breaths. Just observe what happens when you get still. This is a good thing for you to observe later on today or tonight as well. Let's take it to the other side and stay or hold. And then bring it back up to center. All right, now we're going to take a little twist. So let's bring hands to the heart, palms together. You can push here if you want to use a little more action, a little more energy. You can really engage those hands into one another, or you can keep it soft, keep it light. And let's turn to one side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, turn the other direction. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, turn. Back to center, inhale, exhale, turn, back to center. 2 more times back and forth, and then we're also going to do a little holding for our twist. All right, so twist in one side. You could stay hands at the heart, or you might drop the hands and go ahead and sort of hold on to that front knee, maybe hold on to the back of the chair. Be gentle with any additional pressure. It may feel good for your body to help yourself into that twist or stretch a little bit, but always caution to be mindful, to be careful with any external forces like this on that spine. One more breath here. Bring it back to the center. And turn the other way. Again, option to drop the arms and hold. One more breath here. And then release it around to the front. Now, let's find our seat, that pelvis. So you might rock side to side, find those sitting bones. And we're going to start to make a circle. We're circling around the pelvis, around the seat, moving the rest of the spine, the waist, the ribs, the shoulders, all coming with it in this circular motion. Again, this is one of those places where you could get bigger, just kind of more fluid, or maybe it feels best to your body to keep this small, a little quieter. Good, 3 more times in this direction, and then of course we will switch directions. 2 and 3, and let's reverse and go around the other way. Last 3 here. And last one. Good, come back to center. All right, now let's go ahead and change positions. We're going to come up to standing. And I want you to have that chair so that you can use the chair, the seat of the chair probably, although some folks might prefer using the back of the chair. We're going to use that chair as sort of our base for our hands, right? So I'm going to take my hands down into the seat of the chair, walk my feet back so they're underneath my hips roughly. So I've got this room here to spread out, lengthen out my spine. All right, now we can do some spinal movement. Cat, rounding your back, pushing into the chair and kind of rounding up towards the ceiling. And then cow, the opposite direction. Lift the sitting bones, the fanny up, lift the head and the chest up. Maybe get a little feeling of sway or arch in your back. And let's go back and forth. Great place for some bigger breaths, sort of similar to the ones we do at the beginning, perhaps. If you feel like that meets your energy. 3 more. All right, now you might need to keep your knees a little more bent. It depends on the length of your legs and the tightness, the length of your hamstrings. We're going to take one hand in the chair, push with it, and open up to the other side. Now that arm can raise up high like I'm doing, or it can stay low, maybe hand on your hip, so depending on your shoulder. Now notice I've let one knee bend while I've got the knee that I'm turning towards a little more straight. All right, now let's go back and forth. Turn. And then back to face the chair. Remember, maybe that bigger motion. This is another great place where you can use that breathing. A little more energy in the breath if you want. Let's do 4 more. Two more. All right, now let's try a downward facing dog. Hands stay in the chair, and I'll walk my feet back a little bit, and then push the hips back and get lengthened out from the arms up into the sitting bones and the base of your seat there. Maybe shift those knees back and forth, a little movement here. All right, now we're going to do a little back and forth. Shift forward. This is a plank position. This can certainly be done on the floor or even on a wall if you prefer. Push back. Feel free to bend your knees. Shift forward. Shift back. Shift forward. Shift back. Okay, 3 more times. Chair's a little bit creaky today. I keep hearing it. I don't know if it's coming through on the on the video or not. All right, now let's step one leg towards the chair. All right, now you got some choices here. If this feels too spread out, you might step in a little closer. You might take your hands up to the top of the chair or even turn your chair around if you feel like you'd be more secure with the tall part of your chair. All right. Now, I'm going to shift my front knee straight and then bend it. And I'm going back and forth. You'll notice probably that we're doing a lot of that today. We're doing a lot of, in and out, what I call in and out movements instead of holding steady. Again, this is, one of my go-tos or my, suggestions for, just kind of meeting, a little more energy in your mind or your body. All right, now we're going to try to keep the knee bent. This could be one arm or both arms. I'm going to pick them up, maybe one arm if you need to hold on to the chair, and then I'm going to put them back down. So again, it might be one arm, and then down, lift, and lower, maybe both arms. If you feel secure, letting go. 3 more. All right, and then we're stepping back to downward facing dog. So feet back, hips press back, arms get long. And then step the other leg in, make your adjustments. So if you want to have a shorter stance or you want to come up higher on the chair, these are all things you can choose to do. All right, and then we'll do a back and forth, in and out of that lunge. Front knee straightens, front knee bends. All right, leave that knee bent. Here comes your option for arms, one or both arms. Reach up, pull back down. Reach up, pull back down. Three more. Good. Now, hands stay down. Let's step it back into downward dog one more time. Good. Walk it in. Come all the way up, standing tall. Roll those shoulders around. All right, for this next one, you can still have your chair if you want something to hold on to, if you like that feeling of, security. So if that's you, then I suggest you have the chair in front of you, okay? I'm going to move it out of the way in just a second so that, what I'm doing with my legs is a little more visible. But again, if you want that chair for security, have that chair or something in front of you that you can hold. And we're going to take the toes and turn them out and just have a nice wide stance. How much you turn out, well, that depends on you, okay? Depends on your body. All right. So again, if you're needing to hold on, if you need a hand on the chair all the time, then you're going to do one arm at a time. And if you can let go some of the time, you have both arms going. All right. So we're going to take it and sit into a little squat. You decide how low. So knees are bent, they're pushing out, and I'm going to stretch my arms out. And then I'm going to pull those elbows in as I straighten my knees, squeeze that buttocks. All right. So squat and rise, reach and pull. Again, maybe it's one arm at a time if you're holding the chair. If you want to leave out the squat and do just the arms or vice versa, that's another good choice. 3 more. Good. All right. Now, staying here with straighter legs. See if you can turn your feet more towards the front. Okay. And then we'll take a little side stretch. Again, you might hold on to the chair in front of you and then bring it slowly back up. We've been pretty active. We've kept things moving. We're going to start to slow down just a little bit. Again, one sometimes useful pattern for folks when they're feeling anxious or just have a lot of nervous energy is to meet that energy and do things that are pretty active, maybe faster moving, bigger breaths, and then start to slow it down. So after you've met that energy, let's hold this stretch a few breaths. And you've dissipated some of it, then you might be more receptive to something that's a little more calming. Let's take it to the other side, stretch and hold it. Something that's a little more relaxing. All right. All right. Now let's bring ourselves back to the chair. We're going to come back to a seat in the chair. As you settle back into your seated position, just take a moment to, check in. What do you notice in your body? What do you notice, in your mind? Let's take a few stretches here for the legs. So I want you to extend one leg out in front and pull those toes up towards the ceiling. And then maybe hold on to your chair, or you can let your hands rest in your lap and lean forward any amount. You'll stop whenever you feel that stretch in your leg, or just when leaning further forward doesn't seem feasible, or safe in the chair, right? Trying to just feel that sensation in my body again. I keep coming back with my awareness over and over again to what do I notice in my body? What are the sensations? All right, sit back up tall, bring that leg in, stretch the other leg out, toes up, sit tall. Again, maybe you want to hold on to the chair. Maybe your hands can be on your thighs or in your lap. You're leaning forward until you feel that stretch and then pausing there, taking a few breaths. You're starting to slow that breathing down. All right, sit back up tall. Now let's stretch the shoulders a bit. Take one arm across the chest. Use the other arm to just hold it there. Give it a little extra pull. Drop the shoulder away and just gently tilt the head away from that shoulder. Maybe you feel like you want a little movement here. You can do just a slow up and down of the head. Good. Release that arm, shake it out. Just pause a moment. Again, notice how the one side of the neck, shoulder area feels compared to the other. And then let's take the other arm across. Do that stretch on the other side. Shoulder, pull it down. Sit tall, tilt that head away from the shoulder. And maybe a little up and down or back and forth, tilting the head, bringing it back up. Or you can certainly hold still if you feel ready for that. And then release that. Let those arms drop down to your sides, maybe scoot back a little bit. Now, we're going to still do a breath that has a little bit of movement, but we're going to slow our movement down. We're going to do what I like to call a grounding breath. And you'll have some choices again for how you make your movement. You could do palms up as you inhale and turn the palms down as you exhale. Okay, that's going to be, sort of a minimal amount of movement. Or you can take the arms and float them, palms facing up. You could stop at any height, or you could end up all the way overhead, and then turning the palms down and dropping the arms back to your side on the exhale. All right, and we're going to try to slow our breathing down. All right, so you choose the movement you want to make. When you're ready, inhale, palms up, exhale, palms down. Slowing that breath down, maybe closing your eyes. Three more of these grounding breaths. A little slower each time. Last one. All right, pausing now. Just letting the hands rest in your lap, continuing to breathe slowly, checking in, see what you notice. Now remember, these practices, all of these mindful movement videos, they do live on our AARP of Alabama Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So maybe later today or in the next few days, you feel like maybe you need to revisit this practice that kind of meets a higher level of anxiety or energy or nervousness, and then helps you dissipate it and then calms you down. We would love for you to utilize this practice as much as it helps you. And we always thank you for joining us here for Mindful Movement at AARP of Alabama. We hope you'll be with us next week as well.
Thank you so much, Becca, for giving us those exercises for anxiety. We all have a little bit of that every now and then, and they really do feel really good. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again with AARP Alabama right here at Mindful Movement, 10 o'clock on Tuesdays. Thank you so very much. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.